some of the biggest skincare lies that we are fed. I saw that you did a post on this because a lot of them are things that, so many of us internalize and we are led to believe, like preventative Botox. And we're not going to go off on Botox this entire episode, but I did want to get your take on it.
Well, I guess we could start with the preventative
Let's
Botox.
do it.
Yeah. So I know you had some issues with Botox. I did as well. So I never did it in my face, but I'm talking like almost 20 years ago. I did it under my arms to stop sweating. And it just was the worst thing that I ever did. And is actually a big reason why I'm so into wellness, because it created a lot of problems for me where my lymph nodes were swelling. And I'm talking for like days, weeks, months, years, kind of coming and going. And that's what really got me into like sauna and, exercise and all these other things that we need to do to support our health. So preventative Botox is a scam. I think that we, telling 20 and 30 somethings who don't have lines yet that they need to do it is not really the best thing for them, because what we know now is when you freeze these muscles, they can atrophy over time, and then you just end up needing more of it, and kind of paradoxically sometimes looking older when that's not, you were trying to get the opposite effect. Another myth, I think the biggest myth around acne is that it's caused by bacteria. It's not. It's actually caused by inflammation. So I think it was like early 2010s, acne was actually reclassified from a bacterial infection to a chronic inflammatory skin disorder. So that should have really changed the way that we treat acne, but it hasn't. So we're still kind of treating the same antibiotics, the most commonly prescribed medication for it. And even topically, we use a lot of antibiotics or antimicrobial washes and serums and things. But really, we need to target inflammation. And inflammation starts in your gut, starts with your diet, starts with your stress. And that's really where we need to be targeting first to reduce that inflammation. And then once we do that, that can reduce the inflammation in the skin and reduce our breakouts.
I love how you peeled back the layers, essentially, where it's like people are kind of looking at the most upstream thing, right? And you're looking at the downstream, which I love.
Because I think we really need to go to the root. That's the only way that we're going to get to the heart of the problem, is to really look at the root.
I would love to rewind to the Botox thing a little bit, because I had the same experience, not with like the adverse effects that I had, but when I look back on my face after having had so much Botox, there are things that I really loved about it, but I noticed that certain things like my masseters were gone. So I had a lot of like laxity, I would say, and jowling in the jaw area. And I just had no structure to my lower face. And I also noticed that my eyes were kind of downturned. So I think that was from, really trying to hit the area for the crow's feet. And, that was in my 30s. So I can't imagine what's happening when you're going in every 3-4 months, starting at the age of 20, like you're saying.
It's a lot. And, Botox, it's a toxin, right? It's really one of the most toxic substances known to man. So I think there are numerous reasons why we should be more cautious. Everyone needs to decide for themselves like the pros and the cons, right? But I think that I would like to see a world where we're not pushing this on young people, especially because it's just an added stress and something that we don't need and they don't need.
Can I ask, what were your symptoms after you had it? Because I know that adverse events usually happen after therapeutic Botox, which is something like for under your arms, for dystonia, for migraines, where they have to use a lot higher doses, although they do happen after cosmetic as well. Did you notice?
Yes.
I've never met somebody in the flesh who's had it, just people online.
So my lymph nodes were swelling, like they like it was literally like a golf ball under my arm, which is really scary. And that literally went on for years. It started a lot, and then kind of gradually would come and go, but over the course of years. I also developed an autoimmune condition called morphia, which is actually, you can still see it here. Like, you see my skin's discolored. Mm-hmm. So this arm was actually the worst arm that had like the biggest lymph nodes. So this skin became like a whole sheet of scar tissue. It literally looked like just a big piece of scar tissue. So it looks, you kind of almost can't tell. It's a bit red now, but you know what I mean? So it's just kind of red, but it used to be just a flat, shiny scar tissue, which I've done microneedling on, which kind of got rid of, some of it. But so that was like the biggest thing that happened.
Wow.
And again, this is like almost 20 years later, which is crazy.
And you've never done it in your face?
Never done it in my face.
Okay.
No, because I was so like, terrified after that.
So what are you doing for your face? How old are you, if I can ask?
I'm 38.
Okay, so we're the same age.
Yeah. So I do face taping thanks to you.
Oh,
so, yeah. So I think it really works. Face taping is amazing.
Yeah, your forehead is like it's like an ice skating rink, which is what we love.
Thank you. So I actually feel, I don't really have lines on my forehead. And I think it's really the diet, honestly. I think it's having a lot of anti-inflammatory foods. I think it's eating enough protein and having enough collagen in the diet and keeping the blood sugar stable. Because we do know that a high glycemic diet can create inflammation, and that basically degrades our collagen and can lead to premature aging. So I do think that's what's helping my forehead. But for me, like, it's more the crow's feet over here. And I'm telling you, it like really works. And it works quickly too, which is amazing. Yeah. So
it's
I do
amazing.
that. What else do I do? I think bone broth is helpful. Again, just having collagen-rich foods. And I would say those are some of the things.
I mean, because you think about younger people and you even look at kids and teenagers and they have full movement, but then the skin bounces back. So it's not about inhibiting movement. And I remember after I had to stop getting Botox, and then we'll move on from this. I went to a friend of mine who's a plastic surgeon, and he was like, you actually look younger, because a telltale sign of age, especially here in LA where people just take everything to the nth degree, is a completely frozen face. Because that just shows that you're trying to, get rid of all of your movement.
Right.
So people who are older tend to have that. So a little bit of movement is good.
It's
and
fine.
I love seeing it too in people
I
now.
think it's beautiful. A couple of years ago, I went to Norway for a hiking trip. And one thing that really struck me is that while I was there, all of the women, like, they were just aging naturally. And they were just so strong and so healthy and so vibrant. And they looked great, they looked great. And you can tell that they lived a good life, and I think that's a beautiful thing.